Sunday Money. I'm doing the at-home edition, but in the studio is Lauren Fox and Corey LaJoy, 6 feet and 7 inches apart. We're playing it safe, guys. We want to thank O'Reilly Auto Parts and Clutch Coffee and Dryden and anybody else.
And Hercules Tires.
Of course, Hercules Tires. Everybody that is a part of this party. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. We've been trying to listen. You know, a lot of people have been listening for a long time. My friend Rob listens every week. Nick, all these people said, what happened to all the drama? Well, it's a little pill called Xanax. And I want to thank my doctor for mellowing me out. No, you know, we had a lot of fun fighting with everybody. And then we decided that it's just not worth it. We're not going to fight anymore. So now it's the positive edition of Sunday Money. So let's be positive. And we're going to start things out by talking about why Kaz Grala is so much more talented than our co-host, Corey LaJoy. Let's talk about it.
Let's open that up. It's a great topic. I mean, well, first you got to give credit where credit's due, right? I mean, Kaz jumped in that 3 car this weekend. Austin tested positive for the coronavirus, which was
not shocking. Oh, sorry, did I say that?
Well,
it's not shocking, Lauren. You're correct. And I'm worried about our co-host. He is not social distancing, and I'm concerned.
I think Corey's on another level than Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
Let's give him credit where credit is due.
I mean, I'm trying to show up to the racetrack every week and not test positive. Like, that is the top of my priority list. Because if I don't race, I don't get paid. So I can't afford that. So unfortunately for Austin, he tested positive this week. Kaz Grala, who's been driving some Xfinity cars for RCR, got the call. And Kaz, who is has a lot of experience at road courses, jumped in that thing and finished 7th. I mean, I think I read something that he was the first driver since Carl Edwards in 2000 and whatever it was, 3, to have a top 10 in his first career Cup Series race. So that's an impressive stat.
I didn't realize that was his first Cup Series race, too.
Yeah,
wow.
It was.
All right.
Lauren, he destroyed our millionaires. We pay these boys to be the best drivers in America, the best that we have. This kid comes out of
Daryl.
It's true.
Nobody says that these are the best drivers in America.
We have you saying it on this podcast that this is the best drivers out there, and we're at the top level, and this is it. There's a handful of dirt guys that can whoop all of you, but
hang on.
Oh, I'm so mad.
Hang on. There's a difference between guys who know the ebb and flow of Cup Series race on an oval. There's another feel for road courses. It's different. It's just different. For me, it's not a comparison to compare Kaz's seat time at a road course versus mine. It's just different feel. This was my 4th or 5th road course race of all time. For me and in our program, I thought we had a pretty solid day. Ended up having the 23rd fastest lap, which doesn't amount to a hill of beans, but for me, it means I kind of figured it out versus some other guys. It was faster than Matt Kenseth, faster than Daniel Suarez, some other guys who have more road course experience than I do. And we were running about 17th or 18th and got spun out coming to the white flag by Eric Almirola into the bus stop, which was unfortunate because we could have been, 21st, 22nd. In the topic of Kaz, he's driving a good race car for RCR, beat his teammate in Tyler Reddick, and I think it was the perfect storm for Kaz to jump in and really perform because, generally speaking, Cup Series drivers aren't the best road course racers. They've closed the gap from what was considered the quote-unquote ringers, from the Boris Seds and the Ron Fellows, but I don't think that the top 25 drivers in the Cup Series on a road course are the best road course drivers in the country or in the world. That's not the case. Like, there are very dominant and very successful and very talented road course racers in IMSA, in Rolex series, and like all these different series. Guys have perfected their craft of being road course racers when Cup Series drivers only go to 2 road course races a year, so you shouldn't expect those guys to be better than the guys who do it for a living. And that's kind of what we saw. We saw Kaz.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Corey.
Yeah.
Did you say that how many road courses do we have a year?
It has been 2 for years. They added a 3rd for the Roval.
What would a win mean in your career?
What do you mean?
Just a win. Actually having a win in Cup, what would that mean to you?
It'd be huge, no matter where it is.
Okay, how about a win for, let's say, I don't know, Priest?
A win for Priest right now could probably save his career.
Save his career. How about Brennan Poole?
Would be huge.
Daniel
what
Suarez.
are you getting at? What are you getting at here? You're teeing something up.
You're saying, oh, we only have 2 Cup races, so we don't really have to be that good at it. A win at any one of those 2 Cup races on road courses would change your career.
Absolutely.
So I would argue that if you're getting paid millions of dollars, like some of these guys, or $100,000, like some of these guys, you should be putting 110% in to try to win that road course, not saying, we only go to 2 of them a year, so I don't really have to be that good at it. This kid was 21 years old or 20 years old a year ago, never sat in a seat in a Cup car, never driven the car, which we hear you every week say, though these don't drive the same as trucks and Xfinity and all these other things. He smoked you guys. He smoked half of the veterans, Blaney, Harvick, all these guys, and you guys are full of excuses. This story should be the biggest story in the Cup Series for this year at least. This kid came out of a phone call on a Tuesday because Austin Dillon's having pool parties. Kaz shows up, and he smoked you guys, and he's not making any money. It should be the biggest story in Cup. Period.
And I think it is this week, for sure. That's why we're talking about it at the start of the show.
No, I'm talking about it. You're making excuses saying that he had a good car and he has more road course experience.
Would we all agree that Daniel Suarez is a good road course racer, right? When he was running for Gibbs, when he was running for Stewart Haas, he was a top 12 guy, top 10 guy. Mm-hmm. He ran in front of me all day. 26, 27. So it doesn't really, you can't, no matter how good of a road course racer or an oval racer you are, you can't overcome the handicap of what you're driving. A fast car on an oval is going to be a fast car on a road course. And it's just, that's just like the equation of what makes a race car go fast. But Kaz, he had, like I said, he had road course experience. He raced at Road America the previous week in a Xfinity car, which has relatively the same amount of power and less downforce. So it's going to be more finesse driving an Xfinity car on a road course than it will be a Cup car with all the amount of downforce. So he had essentially the road course juices already flowing, and he jumped in and he seized the opportunity. And Ryan Blaney, yes, did he finish 7th and in front of a lot of good guys? Absolutely. Did he race in front of those guys all day to the names that you picked out, whatever, Ryan Blaney, whoever? Those guys are doing a good job. And I don't want to take anything away from Kaz because it was badass for anybody to jump in that and roll. I mean, Kaz beat his teammate Tyler Reddick, like I mentioned earlier. So, hey, he did a good job. Now, could Austin have jumped in there? And I think Austin's a self-proclaimed, he's not particularly good at road courses. And I agree with your point, Daryl. If you are in a situation, especially in the chase, when there's a road course, you got to put a lot of effort and a lot of emphasis in to try to get good at it. But when you're not testing, you don't have the opportunity to go test and go do it. It's hard to get that feel for the guys who, like, iRacing's not the same. A simulator is not real life. Like, you can hit the reset button in those
Lauren,
things.
I hear in a lot of excuses. The king of excuses. Do you hear this, Lauren? You want to know who he outdrove? He outdrove Suarez, Kenseth, Daryl Wallace in 25th. Horrible finish. Ty Dillon.
I can count. There was 32 guys that finished behind him if he finished 7th.
Ryan Newman. He's been getting paid for how long? He finished horrible. Kevin Harvick, champion. Ricky Stenhouse, Matt. I mean, everybody was behind this kid.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, we don't do a lot of road course racing. Joey Logano, defending champ. Nope. He finished above everybody. I say fire Austin and get Kaz a ride.
Well, I don't think that's how it's going to materialize.
I know. Maybe not that. But don't you think that it is a little bit embarrassing for the professionals out there that this kid came in and showed up and did what he did?
I think that if he were to jump in the car this weekend at Dover, I don't know if, Austin will be back or who they would even use this weekend. I think if he goes out and does really well at Dover, I think then you might have a case, Daryl.
I agree.
But I think if I don't know, did he grow up road course racing?
Yeah.
Okay, so then clearly he has a lot more experience than the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it makes sense that he did really good.
Yeah, because he is a road course racer. I mean, that's what, like, he's done the Trans Am stuff. His dad had some part ownership in New Jersey Motorsports Park, so he grew up on a road course. Like, I'm not making excuses. The kid did a damn good job because he could have drove off the track, spun out, wheel hop, cut a tire, just like Kyle Busch did or anybody else did, but he didn't. He kept his car underneath of him all day, did exactly what he needed to do. Justin Alexander had that particular strategy that got him the track position at the end of the race, and he capitalized. Like, hell of a job. So while we're talking about it, we might as well just go ahead and give the Clutch Performer of the Week because we already know who it is. It's Kaz Grala.
That's right.
You want me to read it?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go ahead and give it to him.
Did you watch the other races this weekend, Corey?
I did. No, hang on.
Embarrassing, yes or no?
Hang on.
We have to do the Clutch
We have
Performer.
to give Kaz his credit and his Clutch Coffee because the Clutch Performer of the Week is brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina. You can order Clutch Coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com to order that. And I don't even think Kaz needs coffee. He's only 21. He's got all sorts of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I need all the Clutch coffee. I need some energy.
Corey, as a driver, let's say hypothetically, Austin Dillon, who granted has the lottery ticket of a lifetime, right? He's born into this. He's driving the 3. He's got a nice life, a nice family life. He's got a cool career. He gets sick because of who knows what happens, right? Anybody can get COVID, but he does. Is your worst fear that whoever they tap to come in, because, he had asked Dale Earnhardt Jr. to be possibly a sub in.
Yeah.
And if Dale comes in and does great, at least you're like, oh, it's Dale Jr. Like, what am I going to do, pop up? He's a legend. If they call on a 21-year-old and he outperforms you, is that a driver's worst nightmare?
Yeah. That there's always that underlying, race car drivers, whether they say it or not, like self-confidence and self-value is hard to come by because all you have to do is look at whatever rankings, wherever standings every week, that's where you rank up. It's not exactly how it works, but when you see the guy take your girlfriend and dance around with it on the dance floor and he's a better dancer than you at that particular night, it's going to make you a little jealous, right? Austin's probably sitting on the couch, man, like, oh, man, like, as happy as I'm sure as excited as he was for his team to have a good result and a good finish and excited for Kaz, sure, there was a little bit of, oh, man, like, I don't know if I could have done that good, So race car drivers are prideful. We all have an ego, so it certainly bruises the ego a little bit when you see somebody take your car and run well, and that is a nightmare of sorts. If you always get nervous of not being able to race, and whoever the next guy up does a better job than you. I think that's no different for any sport, whether it's baseball or football, especially. The starting quarterback doesn't want to get hurt and the backup come in and take his job, like a Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick situation. Like, that is a primary QB's worst nightmare. So I think that's all related.
Fine, I guess. It sounds like you're still saying it's a fluke, but I don't think so.
No, I mean,
he finished well because he has experience doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
they're professional race car drivers, Lauren. They should be good at their jobs.
So, okay. So if let's bring this up and talk about it. Professional sprint car racers, right? They are professionals. They couldn't come and run in the top 10 in a road course race in a cup car, but as many professional Cup Series drivers can't jump in a sprint car besides Kyle Larson and haul ass.
Also, something not being said, some of those turns, Lauren, you could walk faster than those cars were going. These guys are acting like they were having to wheel. Some of those turns were like 3 miles an hour, and they're putting around so that they don't wreck each other. You saw the race the day before. We're going 10 wide because these guys have no clue what they're doing. All I'm saying is some of these drivers need some more practice. Forget the
they didn't have practice.
Right.
No, they need to figure out go to the GoPro Motorplex and get your ass together. Get your shit together.
It's not relative. It's not relative. I can haul ass and be just as fast as Max Pappas or any William Byron in a go-kart, shifter kart at GoPro. When I go to Daytona road course with no practice, and I'm 2 seconds slower than he is, did I just forget how to drive on road courses? Like, no. There's other factors involved, and to the point of the cars going slow, yeah, the infield is super slick. The cars don't stick to the ground very good. So I would even argue that the slower the cars are, the slower the cars are in any particular corner of the area of the racetrack, the more finesse it takes to get your car hooked up to go. The faster they go, the more downforce they make, so they're easier to drive.
Uh-huh. You're only saying the thing about GoPro because Zane beat you at GoPro. If you had won, you'd be saying a different tune. But the whole point is,
rental carts at GoPro and Cup cars at Daytona road course no practice aren't the same thing, nor are they in the same conversation.
You're acting as if it's like a unicycle and they're putting Jimmy Johnson on it for the first time. It's a race car. You guys know race cars. Yeah, you got to turn left and you got to brake at different points. So what? You're telling me you can't figure that out? Then what are you getting paid for? I don't get it. I never understood why they would bring Boris Said in. Why are you paying a driver millions of dollars a year if you have to bring in a sub just to race one race? I don't get it. Sorry. Whatever.
All right. I don't even want to argue. I'm not even arguing. I see your points, but they're not valid points.
Yeah, says the race car driver. I'm waiting for Lauren to weigh in on this. Lauren, don't you think as professional athletes, they should be able to rise to the occasion if they put a few more turns in?
Well, Daryl, everybody only finishes in one spot. There's only one person that's going to win. There's only one person that's going to finish 18th, whatever. So I don't know. I don't get it. I think some people did rise to the occasion. Like, I think Corey was doing really well until he got spun out, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But only one person's going to win.
That's true. That's true.
It's like Daryl wants 30 people to slide like side by side. Oh, look, they're all professionals. They all should get paid the same.
They did really good. They all finished at the same time.
I'm just so surprised. I'm not surprised that Chase did great, or Denny, or even Jimmy Johnson. But like some Michael McDowell finished in the top 10. Like
he always does because he's good at road course racing.
Yeah,
he almost always finishes well.
Alex Bowman's not
just
great
like
at road courses.
Kaz.
He finished in 12.
So also you can't, as much as you can look at the final result and judge how the whole day went. Alex Bowman was right in front of me all day, 24th, 25th. So it's just a matter of when Joey got into the back of the 88 and 80 got back in the back of the Bubba and he got spun out. That's just like you could be on the receiving end of that just as much as you can be on the giving of that, like I was or like Bubba was, and then you can be the one doing the dumping and you have a good day. I mean, that's just how it works out sometimes. You can't look at the final results and judge how somebody performed or how somebody didn't perform. But we could talk about how freaking hot it was. Like, and
Daryl, are you done?
Are you done?
We just want to make sure that you got everything out.
Whenever we move on to the weather, you know that we won our argument, Lauren. Now we're going to talk about the weather. Go ahead.
Our argument. Don't put me in the same place as you.
Yeah, Lauren's not in your corner in this battle here.
Didn't you think that the Xfinity race was pretty sloppy, though? I mean, there was a lot of messy stuff going on.
All right. Okay. Well, let's go back to this then, if you want to keep bringing it up. Xfinity is the majority of those guys are there to learn. They are not professionals. They are not paid to drive. That's why you see more incidents in an Xfinity race. That's why you see more incidents in a truck race, because those guys aren't as experienced or as talented race car drivers. That's why you see more incidents. There's also the factor of the cars aren't stuck to the ground as much because they don't have as much downforce. But generally speaking, an Xfinity race has a lot more crashes than a Cup race.
Yeah, they looked like they didn't know what they were doing.
So it's not coincidence that there's a whole lot less incidents in a Cup race than there are in an Xfinity race, because the drivers are more, I guess they're smarter or put their cars in a better position. Who knows? But yes, it's not surprising to me why there was carnage every area of the racetrack in the Xfinity race. That goes to prove Daryl's point wrong, I think. I don't know. We can talk about the weather now.
Why didn't you show the text messages from Denny Hamlin? Let's talk about it.
Oh, God.
Why?
Because I keep seeing online and on Reddit that the one sticking point with that whole fight is that you never came out and showed the text messages. And I thought, I know they existed. Lauren knows they exist. Everyone knows they existed that knows you. You don't have to say what they said, but can you just settle it once and for all why you felt the need to not? I mean, you really had nothing to lose. I still don't like Denny because of this whole thing. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm not trying to cause a fight. I just want to know from your point of view why you didn't release him.
Because I wanted to still hold the cards. That way, if he did wreck me, then I could still have someone. I could have the card to play. Like, oh look, you did say. But that ship has sailed. I still have that. I still have them. But if the 11 card dumps the 32, huh?
Case closed. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. I mean, I don't. They're never going to see the light of day. The people that are close to the situation have seen them. People who matter have seen them. So the people. NASCAR woke police who listen just to take whatever I say out of context each and every week. They don't need to see them. So I'm glad that those people are listening and have something to say on Twitter each and every week because it's pretty comical to watch.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is fast, friendly, and delicious. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature lattes and mochas, custom-flavored infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. You can also order our signature Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com or visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
Well, you're also in trouble because apparently you hate teachers. Do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, so if anybody was upset about that, I'm sorry, because there's nobody that supports teachers more than me. I think education for our young people in the country is probably the most important thing for them. And I still am in touch with a lot of the teachers from 6th grade, Miss Powers, all the way through high school. So like, I love teachers. Like, but you can take anything out of context. If let me just put it this way: if there's 2 people that are NASCAR woke that are trying to cancel me each and every week by something I say. So shout out to those guys. If they had about, I don't know, 200 hours of recorded audio on the internet, I'm sure that there's a couple of things you could take out of context on what they would say and try to cancel them as well. So, have I done some things I probably shouldn't have said? Yeah, but like, the problem is a lot of people anymore, they judge you by their interpretation, not by what the intent was. So that's where we're at. People get upset about anything anymore, especially those 2 people that have a certain bone to pick.
People, I think, just need to find a life and a hobby and get off the internet.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, go outside with your mask on, but go outside.
Yeah. I mean, if there's nobody around, make sure you wear your mask because the Rona is flying around.
It'll get to you.
It will.
Are you back on Twitter though, Corey? Are you seeing any of that stuff, or do you stay out of it now? Because it just makes me mad.
Go on there probably after the race. I'll put in a tweet up for like a post-race recap or whatever, and then I'll usually go on like 2 nights a week just to kind of get some latest and greatest, see what's going on, and check up, see who's mentioning me or what somebody's got to say about anything anymore, because it's always something.
I mean, I go on there, and it doesn't seem like people are mad at you or anything, but the teacher comment for some reason made people upset, and I think people are just upset in general right now. The DNC was last night, watched a little convention. Lauren and I were texting during it. She got so upset she turned the television off and missed some of the good speeches.
It was just 10 o'clock. It was my bedtime, really. But
so politics everyone's fired up. But in the NASCAR world right now, everyone's starting to get antsy about the silly season stuff. Everyone's worried about where everyone's going to end up. The new rumor this week, Lauren, is that Hendrick is going to go to 3 cars.
I've been heard that.
And if it's at 3 cars, does that mean Alex Bowman gets moved somewhere? What happens? We don't know. And so Corey, every week we're waiting for Corey to spill the beans. He has not told us anything. I usually can tell when he's lying to us. When he says anything nice, he's normally lying. Corey, have you heard rumors that Hendrick is going to go down to, or any organization is going to go down to 3 teams?
I I've heard that for a couple months now. I mean, I think that is an option on the table. I think there are certain people over at Hendrick that seem to feel that when Hendrick was at 3 cars, they were their strongest. And there are people that obviously want to run 4 cars because there's a lot of jobs at stake. There's a lot of money involved when it comes to going from 4 cars down to 3 cars. I don't think it would be a great look for the sport, being if Hendrick goes from 4 cars to 3 cars. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, if it costs, $25 million or $28 million to run a car of a Hendrick caliber, if you can't find that sponsorship to make it up, they can't keep going back to Rick's well and trying to run that thing dry. But I don't know. I mean, I think them going to 3 cars might be the leading option for them right now. I hope that's not the case, but I haven't heard anything in particular what they're going to do to or fro. But another new team was announced. Did you read that article from Adam Stern about Justin Marks?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to do a pretty cool, what it seems like, pretty cool activation with some STEM trailers reaching out to underfunded youth in schools and helping them apply for grants, stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool activation that could tie in NASCAR as well as education. I think stay tuned for that. That should materialize pretty cool. And I mean, it's also cool that a young owner's coming into NASCAR, sees the value. It wasn't released whose charter he bought. That's an underlying question. So stay tuned on that. It's called Trackhouse. Justin Marks is the owner, and he's got some guys involved there.
I listened to the Dale Jr. download, or like a part of it last week, where they talked to the guys from Spire.
Jeff Dickerson.
Yeah, that was I thought that was super interesting to listen to, just them talk about, I don't know, how they decided to start a race team and just kind of some of the thoughts behind it. So if anybody, not that I'm trying to, get people to go listen to the Dale Jr. download, because I don't think they need our promotion, but I thought that was interesting.
Well, he is the voice of Bojangles now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. All I hear in the car, on TV is, I'm Dale Jr. I love chicken.
So I'm not going to lie. I stopped at Bojangles yesterday. I got some chicken supremes.
Because of him?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's just advertising at its finest. So, yeah.
Why is everybody adding sponsorship except for Corey LaJoie? You got Bubba Wallace apparently turned into Martin Truex Jr. over the week. Now he's a fisherman. I didn't know that. I've never seen a fishing pole in that dude's hand, but apparently he is an outdoorsman now, and he's camping. And
that's why I said when I think fishing shirts, I think Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
Corey, you and Lauren went to high school with him. Do you remember him ever coming in on Monday talking about the big bass he caught over the weekend?
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. He's wearing a performance fishing gear shirt that is breathable and UV protectant and wicks all the moisture away. And he's got his own line of, now he's an underwear model. I saw a picture with his shirt rolled up with his gut hanging out with a pair of drawers on. They actually look pretty cool, to be honest with you. PSD, you want a pair of Bubba Wallace drawers, go check them out. I mean, I think those things should be flying off the shelf.
Are you jealous when you're seeing all these sponsorship dollars go around and people are getting paid? I mean, DoorDash came on board.
Especially for my friend, man. It's cool to see that. It's also cool to see new companies that haven't been involved in the sport coming in, regardless of who it's with. I mean, we've got we had a new sponsor coming to the sport, Built Bar, which would actually probably be a good opportunity to talk about what they got going on. I'm actually going out there, Daryl, to Salt Lake City tomorrow and Thursday to meet with those guys. I will be wearing an N95 mask, probably a Bubba Boy suit, and be hunkered down and not even breathing. I'll probably try to hold my breath for that whole flight and see what happens.
Well, Corey, they're saying that
Delta.
Okay.
They're saying the thing around your neck, they're saying those don't work very good. Did you see those articles?
I heard that.
Well, I wouldn't imagine they work very good since they're made for like fishing and to keep the sunburn off your neck. But
yeah, not for corona germs.
No, but I don't even want to get into that conversation, sir.
You need to be more controversial. We got to get you some more sponsors. Alex Jones is going to sponsor you next.
No, No.
Here's my question for the day then. Corey can go on a Delta airplane and sit. Wait, window or aisle, Corey? What are you going for?
Are you flying first class?
No, he's Corey LaJoy.
Of course he is.
Actually, I think I am.
Okay, fine, but even
I
still,
had American Express points that I used up on it. Yeah, I think I am flying first class.
Okay.
So you're either window or aisle. What do you want?
Window.
Then you don't have as
All
many
right.
people walking by.
Corey's first class. He's got the window. He's got his little mask on. Probably some other rich dude's going to be sitting next to you because they might have to be going to Salt Lake as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that for 3 hours, but we're not allowed to go sit in the sunshine in the stands and watch people hit baseballs. What's going on?
Or drive race cars.
Or drive race cars. What is that? I don't understand. We can't sit outside in the open air with the sunshine coming down, but you can get on an airplane for 3 hours. I need answers. Lauren,
Daryl,
you're in charge.
this is your deal. The Rona is your deal. You need to talk to your people about this,
Yes.
okay?
Because I don't know.
We agree.
I'm gonna pull a Joe Rogan and say I'm not gonna sit here with my American flag and my 5 o'clock shadow and tell you something that's contradictory what scientists are saying, because I don't know. But I'm gonna use some common decency. Some what is it? Common decency.
Common decency.
When it comes to people being comfortable in public. If I'm around somebody, I'm not gonna be breathing on somebody. Look at me a certain way. I'll put a mask on. It's not that hard. But you have valid points.
Mm-hmm. Hold on,
Lauren.
he has his thing to do, Daryl.
Well,
We got to promote Built Bar.
We do, because they've been a great supporter of our team Go Fast and myself. I'm going out there to check out their facilities this week. I'm excited to go do that because they've had a whole new packaging. They have a whole new process of how they're building their bars. So, my friends at Built Bar just introduced 6 new flavors of delicious protein bars. But you may not know Built also produces Built Boost, this is a brand new product, so check it out. A delicious energy and wellness multivitamin powder you add to your water. You might not even know Built just added Built Go. It's called Built Go. It's like the little packets that you grab like when you're at Planet Fitness right by the counter or whatever. It's a delicious gel, the best from your favorite energy drink and protein shake in one. The common denominator, everything Built makes, is delicious. Whether you're enjoying Built Bars, Built Boost, or Built Go, your day is about to get epic. Get some at BuiltBar.com. Use promo code 32, which is my number, 32. And you'll get $10 off your first order. BuiltBar.com. And I'll be posting some updates when I go out there. I hear Salt Lake's nice, actually.
Yeah.
So, pictures look nice at least. So I'll be posting some stuff out there and trying to wine and dine them a little bit. Hopefully they can come back for us for 21 and keep selling some Built Bars. And y'all keep buying some Built Bars.
All right.
Let's take a break. We got a Dover double to talk about. I think there's going to be a lot of guys falling out of the seat.
We'll take the break and come back after this.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
And we're back. Corey, I'm worried about your marriage.
Why?
Well, every time I'm on Instagram, your wife posts these woe is me posts. It'll be like, didn't even get a chance to pick up my smoothie today because the baby's awake. Didn't get a chance to go to my exercise because the baby's awake. Are you leaving her at home all day to fend for herself? I picture her with her hair up like something about Mary. She can't get any sleep and can't get the house clean. She's posting a lot of like woe is me stuff. And I just want to make sure that you are giving her credit, because I can tell that she, and you relate to the podcast today because you said she was apparently in her feelings again. So what do we need to do to make Kelly's life easier? You're a superstar now. Do we need a nanny?
I mean, a nanny certainly would be a hand, but just for certain periods of the day. But, I got to run out and do meetings and do podcasts with you and Lauren of contractual obligations at this point. But dude, having a baby, Lauren will tell you, is hard, and you are attached to the hip to that sucker all day long. It's like it relies solely 100% on you for its survival. And there's
mostly mom.
Yes,
I know that.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
There's things that Kelly can do for Levi that I can't do it. I can't feed him.
Right.
I'll give him a bottle, but
got
I
no
don't
titties.
produce. I ain't got no titties. So yes, he's teething. So he's been a little bit irritable. He's not sleeping well. He's super fussy, and a lot of the times he just wants mama. So yes, I give her the credit that she deserves. Probably not enough, but she doesn't get to work out as often as she does. She doesn't get to do the things she wants to do because she is raising a child.
We're here to help. Lauren and I are experts. Lauren,
Yes.
the first post says, naps with my booger are my favorite. So that's a happy thing. She thinks she's into it. The next
Yes.
post, anyone, this yelling, teething, sleeping regression is something else.
Daryl, that is a perfect explanation of parenthood. Is like they drive you crazy. You can't wait till they go take a nap, and then they lay down and take a nap, and you're like, oh
For 20
man,
minutes.
I kind of miss them. Yes, that is.
And then there's Corey with the baby on his chest, but also the phone. Corey, you got to put the phone down sometimes. This baby is going to remember these moments where you were half there and half on Twitter
Daryl.
fighting with people.
No.
You've got to put your phone down during daddy.
I'm not on Twitter anymore
baby
fighting
time.
with anybody.
Poppy knows how to swipe on my phone.
The majority of the time, Daddy's doing business to keep a roof over Levi's head.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. So it's always
Except when you're at drive-in movies. By the way, if you didn't see, ladies and gentlemen, Corey went to a drive-in movie, and not just any drive-in movie, the greatest racing movie. I said it, the greatest racing movie of all time, Days of Thunder, at the drive-in, and he wore his Rowdy Burns fire suit with the baby. I have to imagine, even though it's social distancing time, people must have recognized you, being out there, because you were at Charlotte, right? At the Charlotte track?
Yeah.
Did people come up to you and say, hey, man, it's so good to see you. That's awesome. Did you meet any fans while you were out there?
I only met really one that came up because we were there with a couple of different people. Logano was there as well, so people obviously recognize him. And I'm the guy walking around in the Rowdy Burns fire suit with a baby strapped to my chest. So I kind of just stood out regardless if people knew who I was or not. But that was actually pretty cool. That was actually probably the first drive-in movie I've ever been to. It's not really, I guess it is a drive-in movie. You pull your car up and you pitch some lawn chairs out there and watch it. Crank your radio up to 105.1 and enjoy some Days of Thunder. So that was a lot of fun. We were still able to social distance. But a lot of people just stayed in their cars the whole time. There wasn't a lot of people out. There's a lot of cars, but it was pretty cool. I guess they do that every Wednesday night. So if you're looking for something to do on Wednesday nights, head to Charlotte Motor Speedway and watch some drive-in movies.
And you can also see Corey parent for the 1 hour a week that he is present.
That's false. I do a lot. I'd probably do more than what most. I mean, I'm lucky because I only work technically 1 day a week.
Don't let Kelly hear you start telling about how much you do. She's going to throw a candle at your head.
Well, I will say, Corey said this morning that he was like, I'm going to be a little bit late, probably, baby stuff or whatever. And I was like, man, if that were Andrew, he'd be like, listen, I got to go. Good luck. Like, he would not stay and help me.
Yeah, I try to work it out. I try to be a good dad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of work when it comes to a kid, and I try to take some of the load off of Kelly as much as I can. There's things that, like I said, I can't do for him that she can't. So, I'm not going to stand around. And
yeah, I gotta go. Daddy gotta make some money.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. Now let's get back to racing, Daryl.
Boy, we got
to get back to racing because that's what the people want.
All right, let's talk about racing. What was NBC thinking? Ending the race and going to hockey or whatever they did. They didn't show a single post-race interview after we sat through that shit show. I don't understand how that happens. Corey, you got to be honest. That is not a good thing for our sport, right? That was not a good ending.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, they didn't show any post-race. I mean, they were up against...
Not one?
What, did they show the burnout?
No.
They didn't show Chase's interview?
They went to black and they turned it on to hockey.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they were up against the end of their TV window.
So they had the 30-minute lightning delay, so that you got to give them some leeway there, right? Like they want to show post-race interviews.
Right.
But when you're up against a lightning delay and you get your whole segment pushed back a half hour, that's obviously going to eat into coverage. So, I mean, I'm not going to hammer NBC for not doing post-race interviews.
Yeah, it was weird, but I think there's a lot of things that people don't understand.
There's other
They didn't
factors
just
involved.
go, peace, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm not hammering them. Let's play a game. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Daytona and there's been a thunderstorm. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Daytona and there's been weather.
Me.
What are you getting at?
If we know that, how do the networks not know that? There's literally storms and lightning every single summertime race we've ever had in Daytona.
The networks have been through the ringer over the last couple months, so cut them some slack. Cut them some slack. They interview Chase every week. They'll see his post-race interviews on Bob Cocker's Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll get it. It's all right. Cut them a break this week. They're all right. They're going to come back next week.
Why the hell is it in our rundown of things to talk about if you guys don't want to talk about it? You just want to be like, they did good.
Well,
Says right
I think
here,
I brought
ask me
that
about
up.
it.
But
Well, how do you feel
It
about it,
sucked.
Lauren?
It sucked. I wish that they would have done it. But I think I just wanted to say that it's not like they just didn't want to do it.
No, of course. They have other obligations, other programming. But,
Right.
I mean, you got to have post-race interview. That's the whole point, right?
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the guy who won the race should at least get his 5 minutes of.
Yeah, but we're done. I'm so freaking sick of watching Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin win a race. Like, please stop. I'm done.
Okay. Fair
Over it.
I'm
enough.
so done.
Speaking of Denny Hamlin, he has just like come out. I mean, I'm not saying it's us. I'm not going to bring it up again. I don't want to be the person stirring the pot. But ever since that time period, he's been on a roll. He has literally been on fuego ever since that middle of the summer. The dude is, I would say, having the season of his career, like his entire career.
No, he's absolutely having a season of his career. I don't think that that's because he has more motivation from a Twitter spat. I think it's because Chris Gabehart and Gibbs have hit on something, specifically with the 11 team that have made his race cars really fast. He was strong, had a chance to win the road course last week. So yeah, Denny Hamlin is having a career year, absolutely. So I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. He's won 5 times this year. That 11 car is going to be one of the championship favorites next to Kevin Harvick, and who knows? Might be his year, might not.
Probably not. Years past or any indication.
Anyways, listen, I don't want to hammer Corey. I don't want to hammer anybody. I feel like I've been too negative again. I regressed. NBC does a great job. They're one of our partners. I was just disappointed because I sat through the whole race. I wanted to see how it ended. But
Did
the
you,
Fox
Daryl? You sat through the whole race?
I sat through the whole thing, Lauren. I'm a fan.
All right.
I'm a fan.
Okay.
If I can't be there, I want to do the next best thing. I even moved my couch closer to the TV.
I believe it.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to turn the heat as hot as it goes in your house. So if it goes like 90, then I'll give you that. Then you go buy a sauna suit, and I want you to sit there for the 4 hours. Take whatever. I'm assuming you have more hair dryers in your house than your girlfriend does. So take whatever couple hair dryers you have and point them at you for 3 hours, and then tell me how comfortable that was and how an enjoyable experience that was to watch the race, because that's what the 40 of us each and every week are going through. Maybe you have a little bit of appreciation for it, Daryl.
Yeah, Natalie Decker said that she was getting burnt, guys. I saw that. That's so sad.
Well, a lot of guys are burning their heels because, the floorboards are so hot, but the Cup cars especially have the right side windows in for whatever reason. Still, all the drivers are arguing about, we just need to take them out because there's no airflow through the car. It's just literally stale air. It's like an oven. It literally just gets hotter and hotter. There's no air swirling around to cool it off. It is unbearable. So, I mean, it seemed to be general consensus that if that lightning delay didn't come out after halfway, that there was going to be several guys, probably myself included, that were going to have a tough time making it because it was unbearably hot. We saw J.J. Yaley just get out, and Bailey Curry got in. After that break, he was like, I'm kind of over, I'm tired, I'm cramping, whatever the case may be, and then somebody else drove it. I know I talked to some other guys. Most of the guys that had buses there went back to the bus, took their fire suit off, took a cold shower to cool their body temperature off, and put their fire suit back on in that time frame. I know I just sat there and literally just dumped ice on my neck and just kind of lay there. I ate a little bit of food, and I was cramping in the car when I got back in. Like my abs were tightening up, like wrenching me down into the seat. And anytime I shifted, like the fist that I made to push the shifter from second to third, like my hand would stay like this, and I would like have to like pry it back onto the steering wheel. It was not fun.
Guys, you would have to pay me so much more money to do this than some of you guys get paid. That sounds awful.
It was brutal. But Daryl just wants to hammer everybody, say they're not doing a good job and they get paid too much money. It's actually a hard job, contrary to what you might think, Daryl.
It was hot in Florida. Shocking.
Yeah.
Wow. I had
shit.
to drive my race car and make an outrageous amount of money. You know, there's a lot of drivers in that field that drove to Florida, Corey, and drove back. Not everybody got on the little fancy plane like you did.
Like who?
Brennan drove.
I drive to Florida pretty much every time for the 500, for the July race.
Did you?
Not this time, no. Why would I?
Yeah,
I got a 5
you were
month
on an
old.
air-conditioned plane, sitting there with your buddies, flying home. So stop complaining about the 3 hours of work you had to do this week.
So sometimes you make no sense on like relating your points together. It doesn't make any. How does cooking your ass like a rotisserie chicken have anything to do with how I get to the racetrack?
Because you drove 3 hours this week, 3 hours of seat time. Brendan drove 3 hours and then drove home 7 more. That's 10 hours, Corey. That's just simple math. You have it pretty easy, dude. You were hot for 3 hours on a Sunday. Big deal.
Well, I mean, I'm not shitting on Brennan, but so did he. He was only hot for 3 hours because then didn't he not get in his car that has air conditioning and drive home?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It couldn't be that hard to do if he had energy to drive home for 7 hours. Corey's acting like he had to take a wheelchair to the plane because he was dehydrated. You worked for 3 hours this week in the Florida sun. Big deal, man. You know, you're okay.
Oh,
It was
I'm
hot.
okay. I appreciate your support. I know I saw
I'm not
actually.
your wife. I don't feel sorry for you, dude. I think
I'm
you
not
get
asking you to
paid
feel
well.
sorry for me. I'm just telling you actually how hot it is.
Well,
maybe
listen,
if you
think
did it for a couple weeks in a row, you wouldn't be the thick David Grohl anymore. Maybe you'd just be a skinny David Grohl.
Corey's getting upset again. Somebody called him out for working 3 hours out of a 40-hour work week.
Daryl.
I don't. You're just like a socialist, man.
Listen,
That's what you are.
just admit you have it made, dude.
I got a damn good life. Never say I don't.
All right. Well, I mean, as much fun as it is to sit here and listen to you complain every week, sometimes it gets old. I mean, look how bored Lauren is. She's doodling.
Guys, I can't be a part of this negativity.
I know.
Oh,
You
sorry.
are
Hey, do
doing
you
nothing.
think we should have the road course as should it be something, it's like an experiment? Do you think it should be something that stays? A lot of drivers liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it should take place in a speedway race because I think that 2 races on the speedway is kind of a staple of the schedule. Obviously, I think fans overall are going to go. People are going to show up to spectate the speedway races more than they are going to see a road course race. That's just the way it is. I believe. I mean, I think that it would be cool too if we have 3 or 4 road courses on the schedule, possibly seeing those rotate. I know there's other barriers they have to cross to do that, but I mean, Daytona is a cool road course. So is Sonoma. So is Watkins Glen. So is Road America. There's talks about them being on the schedule next year. So I think that there's plenty road courses that would be great for Cup cars. And do I think Daytona Road Course should stay? We're going to see it come back for the Bud Shootout or Busch Clash, whatever they call it, in February. So that'll be another race on that particular track. I'm interested to see. From what I understand, the 21 schedule is already done. So it would, if they kept the Daytona Road Course on the schedule, it would be in place of a speedway race, which I think some would be excited about that. Some wouldn't be excited about that. I'd be on the side that wouldn't be so excited about subbing a super speedway for a road course, but that's just my opinion.
It's because he's not good at it, Daryl. Like,
Yeah.
Kaz Grala, though, he would be really excited.
Very much so.
Kaz Grala is better than Corey at road courses.
He should be.
Because his
I've ran
dad
4 road course races in my life.
Oh,
Why
man.
wouldn't he be better at me than that?
Anyways, are we done?
I'm about done, but we have to do this Dryden read because it is Dryden Dover,
Oh,
the
right.
double header. And this week
we
is
love
Dryden
Dover.
week on MRN. So this week is the Dryden doubleheader at the Dover Monster Mile. They're sponsoring. There's a truck race, there is an Xfinity race, and there are 2. Listen here, Cup races Saturday and Sunday. Learn more about the complete line of automotive, commercial, and industrial lubricants at Dryden.com. Dryden, the hardest working brand in heavy-duty lubrication. So if you're not watching our video and you're just listening to the audio, I'm sure it's brutal this week because it's just Daryl shitting on everything. I am a walking Dryden billboard today. I got a Dryden American flag shirt, got a Dryden hat, and Dryden will be on my Ford Mustang this week. I'm excited to carry them. They're awesome supporter of myself as well as Go Fast, so it's going to be exciting. Those Dryden guys have their act together. They're all over dirt racing right now. They're all going to be all over Dover International Speedway this week. So check them out. They have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool products, and they support me, so you should support them.
You
Anything
said
else
that
you wanna
Dover
say?
is going to be pretty crazy this weekend, right?
Yeah. So I think that depending on how hot it's going to be, I know Daryl doesn't care because it's only 3 hours at 150 degrees. I think that's what you cook like a chicken pot pie at. So yeah. Dover is probably the hardest physically on your body because the G loads are they're high. So you have the energy going down from the banking compression, and you also have the energy going to the right because you're hauling so much ass. So I'm not sure what the race distance is. My guess is like 300 miles, 300 laps. So guys are going to be spent after Saturday's race, and I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to have how to hydrate because you could drink all the Pedialyte you want. It's not really going to get back in your system overnight. So that's going to be another factor on Sunday for guys who are going to be fresh, or some guys. I would imagine some guys are going to bring in somebody to give them an IV or go to the infield care center to get IV because you physically can't put the fluids back in your body as fast as you sweat them out during the race. So that'll be a factor to watch. Guys who may or may not be tired on Sunday might cost them a decent result. So I'll be watching that too. Hopefully, I'm not in that department. Usually I'm in pretty good shape. I like to think I am, but there's really no rhyme or reason sometimes when you get overly tired. I think it's relative to cockpit temperature. So hopefully we can keep the cockpit temperature down this week and I can stay in good shape. That's why I worked out hard, but sometimes it's just hard to keep your core temperature down. That's what the little ice bags are for. Have we talked about that before? Like how we try to keep, some guys have like nice rainy systems.
Yeah.
I have one, doesn't particularly work, but lately I've just been doing Ziploc bags of ice, and I'll just like stuff them in my suit. I'll have like 6 of them, like because you just keep adding them. You don't really take them out, and I'll just have like my whole belly full of ice packets. It
You're
kind
like
of works.
Ryan Newman when you get out of the car.
Yeah, like we saw there was an in-car camera of Brett Moffitt's truck during the truck race, and those guys were so hot. Usually the drivers have Gatorade and water mixed or something with ice, and they swap bottles out each and every stop. Brett just took the top right off his bottle and just dumped the ice on his face and like kind of went down his fire suit. And I've been there. You're just trying to do anything and everything to like cool off because your heart's just racing because your body temperature is 101, 102 degrees, and there's nothing you can do to get it down. You can't breathe slow enough. It's just hot. So I've been there where you just take the cap off your water bottle and just dump it on you. And then if you do it too early in the race, we talked about it, where all the water pools up underneath your butt and your seat is hot enough to boil it. So I think everybody's kind of got that lesson learned the hard way. You don't hear about anybody boiling their butt cheeks anymore.
Ugh.
But hey, I mean, that's what we get paid to do, Daryl, right?
Right.
I was just thinking, I don't know how Richard Petty did it, man. I mean, I heard his air conditioning didn't work half the time, and same with Bill Elliott, and I heard Rusty Wallace, his air conditioning didn't even get put in for a couple of years. I don't know how those guys managed to pave the way for you They can't drive 3 hours when the sun is shining.
So I
they
love
didn't
it
even
when
have cooling systems, you baby.
I love it when people use that argument because the cockpit temperatures back in the 80s, 90s.
Climate change, Daryl. It's hotter now.
Yeah, global
Are
warming.
you trying to tell
Don't
me
you
that
know
the
Al
cars
Gore?
weren't hot back in the day?
They had no right side windows. Cars were 6 inches off the ground. Cockpit temperatures were not much hotter than ambient temperature. So if it was 90 degrees, the interior cockpit was 90 degrees. Now, with the right side window, cars are on the ground. There's no airflow underneath the car. You like 140 degrees is 140 degrees. 150 degrees is just hotter than 90 degrees 20 years ago. Like you can say Cale Yarborough did it this way and not like, yeah, he had half a windshield, no right side window, and an open face helmet. The cars were cooler back then. Doesn't make it any less manly. Those guys were driving those Monte Carlos around the track with no power steering. Yeah, those guys were badasses. But at the end of the day, it's still hot as balls in our cup cars each and every week.
Lauren, do you ever hear Dale Earnhardt get on TV after a race and go, man, it was real hot today. I'm hot. I need to sit down for a minute. Hell no. Never. You would never hear that.
You obviously haven't seen the picture of Ricky Rudd laid out after Martinsville with a ice pack on him, laid flat on the ground.
Yeah, we recreated it. They interviewed him when he was on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a video and recreated it. That was actually a crazy thing.
Yeah. That's like every weekend with somebody. So,
well, I'm glad you survived, Corey. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers, Corey.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it. That's what's going to get me through.
Lauren, we're getting lots of good reviews. Let's get out of here. But before we do,
please, dear God, let me go.
Pro Compact 18. I tried to get into the show. I told it was a good place for tech talk, but I listened for 3 weeks and I don't hear anything. Corey seems to have a dry personality. Corey, you want to respond?
No.
No, it's kind of true.
1 star. 5 stars from Swim3395, my favorite NASCAR podcast to listen to. And I think I listened to about all of them. I started getting into the sport a couple of years ago, and this podcast has helped me understand the dynamics of the sport along with the weather. Oh, that's nice.
Weather.
Yeah, it says that we talk a lot about the weather. And if I'm honest, I never understood why everyone hates on Daryl so much. I've been a Chevy guy my whole life, but I'm hoping Corey can stack some more pennies and maybe end up over at Hendrick. That's nice. Thank you. 5 stars. Uncle Steve, 5 stars. Excellent insight by Corey and Landon. Great episode. I've never considered a ton of the repercussions and changes that they brought up. Made a ton of sense. That's a lot of praise for Landon. 5 stars. The real side of NASCAR. I started listening to Sunday Money the past year, and I've enjoyed every episode. Corey offers a different weekly look into what it's like to be a small fish in the big NASCAR pond. Daryl's a good host who can push the right buttons on Corey and get him fired up, and Lauren is entertaining as well.
No, that's not what it says, Daryl.
Lauren,
that's not what it says. I'm looking at it right now. It says, I'm not really sure what Lauren does, but she's there too.
I'm not really sure what Lauren does, but she's there too. Lauren, I was trying to protect her.
I love the
I
honesty.
recommend this podcast to anyone except Denny Hamlin fans, if there are any. I mean, are there any? I'm from Virginia, and I've never seen one. He even gets booed at Martinsville and Richmond. And also, how can anyone be that smug all the time? Dude designed his house like the kid from the Disney movie Blank Check. I bet he gets his limo driver to hang out with him too.
He's got a baller house.
Yeah, like the kid from Blank Check. Also, I bet he gets his limo driver to hang out with him too. Also, how can you win a race and act like you don't even care? Anyways, I think I've rambled enough. Podcast is 5. And finally, from 48 Rocks, the best podcast out there to get true driver feedback on the weather. No, I'm just kidding. On the latest races. Corey gives good details on the tracks and the handling and the driver technique and covers a lot of things that you don't see on the race broadcast. I agree. They carried me through the pandemic, and you can tell they're real people. Anyone who has to do a Zoom call with their kids in the room will know what I'm talking about. I even started to like Daryl, though it took a while. Thank you guys for all you do. 5 stars. Well, we appreciate the support. Hopefully you enjoyed today's podcast and learned something. I don't know.
I did not enjoy today's podcast.
No, neither did I. But, we're going to come back next week and do it all over again. Now, to the guy who said I'm dry, I am dry because anytime that I have some sort of juicy take on something, or when I get fired up and Daryl says something dumb and I say something I probably regret or shouldn't, there's I usually stick my foot in my mouth. So it's better for me to be dry with my foot out of my mouth than to be some sort of personality and insert my foot in my mouth. Because there are still brands that I represent, and there's teams that I represent, or a team that I represent. And we also represent the sport. We all collectively do. So we have to do a good job of painting that picture.
Did we not do that today?
That's subjective, but we'll see what the feedback is.
Listen, you want me to
Hurry
just tell
down,
you
I'm hungry.
Okay, we can be done. But Corey, I wish you good luck. I just, listen, sometimes I've just had enough of the excuses. I just want to bring you back down a little. It's important to be true to your friends.
So true.
I usually, I feel like I'm pretty down. And I also don't want to take any credit away from Kaz. Kaz was the clutch performer of the week. We got to give him another shout out. Top 10 in his Cup Series debut. But also first, before we go, I want you to thank O'Reilly's.
That's right.
Auto parts for all your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Go get some O'Reilly Auto Parts.
That was great. This is a great podcast. We can't forget to thank Alexa.
Thanks, Alexa.
Our
Thanks,
lovely
Alexa.
Producer.
He's gonna hate this.
Oh,
Let's go.
and also, our tech guy was running around fixing
Craig,
everything.
Come on.
Dude, we had some audio difficulties this morning. They got her hashed out. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
Thank you guys. See you soon.
Bye.